Hello everyone, welcome to my channel SW Metro official channel.
Sister wives Janelle Brown considers this drastic measure to completely separate herself from Kody Brown after $340,000 Kody Pass debt payoff. Sister wives Janelle Brown is contemplating a spiritual divorce from her husband Kody Brown in order to avoid mental roadblocks when starting a new relationship in the future. Kody was legally married to Mary Brown when he entered into a spiritual union with Janelle in 1993. Over the years, they had 6 children together and never felt the need to formalize their marriage legally. However, during the pandemic, their relationship soured, and Janelle came to the realization that she wanted to part ways with Kody because she felt disconnected from him. In 2022, Janelle officially announced her split from Kody. People shared a sneak peek of the upcoming Sister Wives episode, in which Janelle tells Mary Brown she wants to end her spiritual marriage to Kody. She explains that because she was no longer actively involved in the church, she had not initially considered a spiritual divorce. However, after witnessing Mary take similar steps, she was inspired to do so. Janelle didn't want to offend God because she thought her spiritual connection with Kody was valid. What it means for Janelle to consider Kody's spiritual divorce. Janelle and Kody became spiritually united in 1993 and have remained close friends ever since. Janelle, who had always been independent, didn't harbor jealousy when Kody devoted most of his time and attention to his youngest wife, Robyn Brown, and her children. However, when Kody enforced strict family rules during the pandemic, their relationship began to deteriorate. He also said that Janelle was less loyal than Robyn. Their relationship deteriorated further when Kody urged her to evict their sons from their house, but she stood firm in rejecting his demand. Janelle and Kody had built a strong bond for years, leading her to believe their connection was still valid. Despite being less involved in church, she remains committed to her faith and believes that ending her relationship is in line with LDS principles. Janelle is considering a spiritual divorce from Kody because she wants to end their emotional and spiritual relationship. She no longer wants Kody in any way and is eager to continue living a single life free of mental obstacles. Our take on Janelle's admission that she might divorce spiritually. While Janelle remains a believer in the LDS faith, she has chosen to no longer practice polygamy. She is open to the possibility of entering a monogamous romantic relationship in the future, despite the fact that she is currently single. In order to find closure and regain her independence, Janelle is looking for a spiritual separation from Kody. She wants to make it known to both fans and Kody that she no longer seeks his approval or is interested in reconciling with him. The Sister Wives cast member wants to break up with Kody on an emotional level in order to show that she is her own person. Sister Wives, Janelle and Mary reunite at the Kody Pass property for a tense conversation. The Kody Pass property has been a major topic of discussion among the Brown family for the past few Sister Wives seasons. However, in the 19th season, Janelle and Mary have decided that they want their share of the property and are willing to do anything for it. So that they can finally move on with their lives, they are putting pressure on Kody and Robyn to give them their share. It goes without saying that Kody hasn't been very helpful, but the two of them haven't given up. Although they haven't always been friendly, Janelle and Mary have teamed up to get the property. After many years, the two finally met when they went to the Kody Pass property. It is probably the first time that the duo has willingly met after the split from Kody. They last met in the same room for the funeral of Garrison. Now, the two talk about how they want to handle Kody and get through the property deal. Sister Wives, Mary and Janelle fell stuck in life due to Kody. Kody got married to Mary first, and then to Janelle after a few years. Since they have been together for a long time, it must be difficult for them to move on. In addition, Kody is making their lives more difficult. He was holding the Kody Pass property and making excuse after excuse not to sell the land. Mary is advised to hire a lawyer by Janelle because of her frustration with the situation. She went on to say that until she gets her fair share, she can't move on in life. It is the final link that binds her to Kody. Mary agrees with Janelle as well. Sister Wives, Janelle and Mary reunite at the Kody Pass property. Mary and Janelle are joining forces to deal with Kody for the Kody Pass property. Even though he is unwilling to give them their share, the two insist that they do and break all ties with him. Mary and Janelle recently visited the land at Coyote Pass. Talking to the camera, Mary added she doesn't understand what schemes Kody is playing. She believes that he intends to cause them such distress that they will give up. However, they have no intention of giving up and will fight tooth and nail for their share. On the land, Janelle explains to Mary how it is divided into 4 phases. Kody is part of each phase. Mary, on the other hand, only has her name on one part, which she shares with Janelle and Kody. Following that, Janelle stated that she compelled Kody to include her name in at least 2 phases. She also hired an attorney to get her name on the documents. Janelle went on to explain that because her name is on the papers, Kody can't sell half of the land without her permission. She went on to say that Mary was unfairly treated because she was given the least amount of land. Janelle promised me that she would look after Mary so that she gets her share. She went on to say that she wants to get away with the fight as a whole and is extremely enraged about it. Mary even agrees with her, but the duo is still adamant that they will fight for their rights. Mary also added that she has an attorney ready. Janelle Brown of Sister Wives inquires about Kody's divorce from her. 2 years after realizing the marriage was over, Sister Wives star Janelle Brown is now questioning her decision to divorce Kody Brown. Janelle became his second wife in 1993, and they had 6 children together. So, what would make Janelle reconsider the divorce? Keep reading for further details. Janelle Brown questions divorce from Kody. Janelle Brown had been married to Adam Barber when she joined the Sister Wives family. He was Kody Brown's first wife, Mary Brown's brother, so she and Janelle were in-laws. She realized that she wanted to be a part of their plural family after they split up. They got married in a religious ceremony in 1993 and had 6 children. Unfortunately, the family went through a lot, but it reached its peak during the pandemic. Janelle chose her children over her husband, and that became an issue. Kody split up with a lot of his kids and, eventually, Janelle. He did not spend time with her in the RV she bought for Coyote Pass. In addition, Kody ceased visiting Savannah, their youngest daughter. After all was said and done, Janelle was pleased that she was no longer married to Kody. He stated that he desired reconciliation, primarily for their children. She didn't care and has since moved to North Carolina from Flagstaff. Given Mary's actions, there was talk of her getting a church release. She was the 3rd and final wife to leave and went to their church to end her spiritual union. To Janelle Brown, that did not matter much as the Sister Wives stars were not active in their church. Therefore, a release was the last thing she thought she needed. It didn't even occur to me because I'm really not part of that church anymore. I thought, when Mary got one. Janelle adds the following after learning Mary's reasoning from her conversation: I'm not in a relationship right now, but if I did, I would never want a strange wall in my head. I've been married for 30 years and it had validity for me. I don't have to live plural marriage again. I'm not sure if I'll ever even get married. But I've maintained my faith. All of it's intact except for that whole plural marriage thing. I don't know about that. Ending the marriage. Janelle Brown has previously stated that she is not divorced. Rather, the Sister Wives star believes she's just single. In addition, Janelle may require a spiritual divorce in order to begin her new life with the right person. When Janelle and Mary Brown reunite on the Sunday, April 27th episode, all of this comes up. That's when Janelle starts to wonder if the marriage should end, so just so that I'm sure I'm good, if I were to remarry, maybe it's worth getting a spiritual divorce? Mary does offer to go with her former sister wife to obtain this release. However, it is unclear if he will actually go through with it or not. Fans laughed when Kody Brown expressed his belief that Janelle saw him as a piece of meat in the most recent episode. Janelle's fate will be determined over time, whether she gets the release or stays married to Kody. Hopefully, she will find true happiness wherever she goes. When Janelle Brown walked away from her spiritual marriage to Kody Brown, many fans of Sister Wives assumed that was the final chapter in their decades-long story. However, Janelle's recent decision to consider a spiritual divorce suggests she's still emotionally tethered to her former partner, and now she wants to sever those ties for good. This development comes not long after she participated in the resolution of the $340,000 debt owed on the Coyote Pass property in Flagstaff, Arizona. For Janelle, the payoff of that shared financial burden may have been the last loose end tying her to Kody, and now she's ready to emotionally and spiritually break free. In this essay, we'll explore what a spiritual divorce truly means, why Janelle is considering this drastic step, how her relationship with Kody disintegrated over the years, and what her future could look like now that she's claiming her independence. We'll also analyze the broader implications for the Sister Wives franchise and how Janelle's personal evolution could inspire other women walking away from emotionally taxing relationships, especially those built on the illusion of spiritual or romantic permanence. Chapter 1: The Roots of Janelle and Kody's Union. Janelle Brown entered the Brown family in 1993, becoming Kody's second wife in what was known as a spiritual union. At the time, Kody was legally married to Mary Brown and would later spiritually marry Christine Brown before legally marrying Robyn Brown in 2014. Unlike Mary and Christine, Janelle never shared the same emotional intimacy with Kody. Their bond was based more on mutual respect, a deep friendship, and a shared commitment to building a large, functioning plural family. What made Janelle stand out from the other wives was her independence. She was often described as the practical one, the one who worked outside the home, managed finances, and ensured the family stayed afloat during lean times. While Christine raised the children and Mary pursued her own goals, Janelle was the rock. She was never the most emotionally expressive, but she was the most grounded. Despite this, cracks in their relationship started forming long before the COVID-19 pandemic. Janelle often lived separately from Kody for logistical reasons, especially when the family was spread out. Yet, she never complained. She accepted their unique dynamic and made it work, until it didn't. Chapter 2: The Pandemic and the Downward Spiral. The COVID-19 pandemic changed everything. Kody's controversial and often rigid household rules during the pandemic created division between him and some of his children, especially those he shared with Janelle. He demanded strict compliance with health protocols, and when Janelle refused to evict their adult sons from her home for not following those rules to the letter, Kody accused her of being disloyal. That accusation was a tipping point. To Janelle, loyalty didn't mean blind obedience to Kody, it meant standing by what she believed was right for her children. She refused to abandon them to please him. This moment highlighted just how far apart they'd grown. While Kody gravitated more toward Robyn and her children during the pandemic, Janelle found herself increasingly isolated from both her husband and the communal family structure. When Janelle finally separated from Kody in 2022, it felt like a long time coming. But despite the physical and emotional distance she had created, one part of her still held on to their shared spiritual commitment. It wasn't until recently that she began to think about cutting that final cord. Chapter 3: Understanding a Spiritual Divorce. In the LDS faith, a spiritual marriage isn't recognized legally but is still considered sacred. Spiritual unions, especially those created within fundamentalist polygamist contexts, are seen as binding in the eyes of God. This is why spiritual divorce is taken seriously, even when there's no legal paperwork involved. It's not just a formality. It's a declaration that the spiritual bond has ended. When Mary Brown recently revealed that she was pursuing a spiritual divorce from Kody, Janelle was inspired. She had previously thought such a move might be unnecessary, especially since she no longer actively practiced her church's doctrines. But watching Mary take the step toward closure sparked something in her. Janelle now wants to formally dissolve her spiritual marriage to Kody, not just to satisfy religious doctrine, but to mentally free herself from any remaining ties to him. She acknowledges that their union was valid, and she doesn't want to offend God by pretending otherwise. This is about closing the chapter respectfully and moving forward with purpose. Chapter 4: The Role of Coyote Pass in Janelle's Journey. The Browns' controversial land investment, Coyote Pass, has been a consistent source of tension for years. Purchased for roughly $820,000 in 2018, the land was supposed to be the foundation for a new, unified family compound. But as the wives' relationships with Kody crumbled, so too did the dream of communal living. Recently, reports surfaced that Janelle and Mary paid off their share of a $340,000 debt associated with the property, effectively clearing the books. For Janelle, this financial closure is symbolically linked to her emotional closure. No longer having monetary obligations tied to Kody or a shared vision means she can walk away without strings attached. This debt payoff might have been the catalyst for her decision to consider a spiritual divorce.